Now, I would like to welcome Cameron Law, Executive Director of the Carlson Center. Many of you know Cameron. He has been a long presence in the Sacramento area, and I've known him since he's about exactly as tall as he is right now. And without further ado, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and hand it over to Cameron to share about the Carlson Center.
Awesome. Thank you, Thomas. I might have been as tall, but definitely not as many LBs from COVID. That's most certainly something that has been added. So, well, thank you, Thomas and Gary and CleanStart for allowing me the opportunity to share a little bit about the Carlson Center here today. And excited to be here at another CleanStart Perspectives. It was funny hopping on earlier today with Thomas and talking about, the first time we really rolled this out was at the beginning of COVID, and we were running one of our programs, Startup Weekend, which I'll share a little bit later. But it's crazy to think we've been in this situation for a year and how that's ultimately impacted our programs and impacted kind of our programming for the long haul. But excited to share our resources with you, and hopefully you can plug in as an entrepreneur or as a stakeholder that supports entrepreneurs. We'd love to find ways to partner moving forward. So just wanted to start high level and share a little bit about the Carlson Center's mission, vision, and purpose. So our mission is to make innovation and entrepreneurship pervasive throughout the greater Sacramento region. And we really have this vision to make this region a premier hub of innovation and entrepreneurship. And as we really approach the pervasiveness of innovation and entrepreneurship, we look at the role the Carlson Center plays at Sacramento State. So we've recognized that 65% of students that graduate stay, live, and work in this region. And we feel that if we can start to empower them with the innovation and entrepreneurial mindset, that we can really start to grow our community and build out that entrepreneurial component of our community and have that entrepreneurial spirit thrive. And at the core of our work, our core purpose is really to educate, support, and build the next generation of impact-driven innovators and entrepreneurs. And in that clean tech space is definitely that strong alignment where we're seeing that impact-driven innovation and entrepreneurship. And so the framework that we really approach our work is what we call the triangle of success. And so what's unique about the Carlson Center, we are located at Sacramento State, but we also serve the broader community through the university's Anchor University Initiative, where we're really trying to move away from an ivory tower and really bring our resources to the community and creating value for both our students and our ecosystem. And so really what this framework approaches is our role at the Carlson Center, we feel, is really to balance the entrepreneurial ecosystem with that of the academic ecosystem on campus. And so having that entrepreneurial community, really driving that real world experience for our students, but also sharing for entrepreneurs, having that knowledge recycling in our community to support that next wave of innovators and entrepreneurs. And as for the academic ecosystem, really driving that best-in-class education and research to help foster more innovation in our community and for our students. And so we feel our role is really to balance those two roles and really start to drive community impact, which will ultimately lead to a more thriving region from there. And so how we've operationalized our mission, vision, and this framework is what we call the Carlson Center's entrepreneurial journey. And we've created three main buckets of programming, the first being our Discover programs, then our Build, and then our Launch. And so I'll walk us through what each of those are, but we're really here to support you along that continuum and create support as you go through that entrepreneurial process. And so our Discover programs are really about creating those on-ramps into the entrepreneurial journey. So some of you already might have an idea and you're moving through that process. The Discover programs are still an opportunity for you to learn from other entrepreneurs. It's all about really that knowledge recycling and really having that inspiration to continue taking next steps in that in your business venture, but also really building a community around innovation and entrepreneurship, because you can't really do it alone. And it's always great to be connected to a community and an ecosystem that can help you navigate. And that's what our Discover programs are all about. And so one of our Discover programs is our Global Entrepreneurship Week, which is presented by Western Health Advantage. It's an amazing week. It's the third week of every November. We partnered with CleanStart on two events that took place during Global Entrepreneurship Week. So we had a panel discussion with the College of Engineering and Computer Science to do a deep dive into really, what does innovation and entrepreneurship look like in terms of clean technologies, and not just in building the hardware aspects, but also, what does it look like from building that ecosystem around the clean technology and energy space. And so Over the week, this in a virtual setting, we had over 20 virtual events, everything from panel discussions to workshops where we brought in best practice speakers in terms of Lean Canvas and testing business ideas. And then we also have one of our programs called Spark Venture Competition during this week. But it's a really great way to get inspired, take some next steps, and be energized by those that are doing the work currently and gaining information from entrepreneurs that are already in the process. We also hosted a startup weekend with a number of partners. So Thomas attended there. I saw Laura Good hop on, who was a great partner in launching Startup Weekend. So this is another event that we seek to run on an annual basis. Obviously, over the last year, it's been difficult running it virtually, and we've felt like the community aspect, which is a main goal of us running the Startup Weekend, is something that can really be only done in person. You can run these events virtually, but we've really been intentional of wanting to run this in person. So hopefully we're back in the fall, and this could be something that we target. And for those of you that don't know what a Startup Weekend is, it's a 54-hour basically exploration of a new idea. So you come in with a brand new idea that's never been worked on. You present that idea and then self-select into teams. And over that 54 hours, you basically go through the customer development process. And then on Sunday, you
recording in progress.
5-minute pitch. And someone's got the mute, and I'm hearing myself talk. There we go. Awesome. Thank you for that. And then on Sunday, you do a 5-minute pitch with the customer development and the prototype that you developed. And so we were really excited. Looking back, was a little bit of a questionable time. It was right before we went to the lockdown, but it was a great energy and a lot of excitement. And we look forward to partnering again. I know CleanStart has run one of these in the clean technology space. So definitely keep an eye out for these resources and programs going forward. And then we have our entrepreneurship speaker series. So again, we have partnered with Startup Sac on their Startup Happy Hour. So on a monthly basis, we elevate an entrepreneur in our community and have him or her share their story. It's really, for me, about knowledge recycling. So entrepreneurs can be inspired, but also to learn from past mistakes and key learnings. And for us, it's a great way to also elevate our entrepreneurs that are moving and shaking and helping them further navigate our ecosystem. We also run our own Ask Me Anythings, which are a little more ad hoc. We tend to feature entrepreneurs that are made at Sac State. And these entrepreneurs can be everything from driving nonprofits to starting up, a technology company. And so it's a great way to connect with community, but also be inspired and learn from entrepreneurs that are in the work just like you. We also have a series of workshops that, again, are a little bit of an ad hoc. We call them our ecosystem partner workshops. We recently had one done by Sadel Trabovsky from Open Grants, and that was all about how to access grants for startups. We also have had conversations around how to build your founding team, sales planning for early stage startups, but it's a great way to do a deep dive into a particular content area and support yourself in really navigating that entrepreneurial process and honing some of those tools as you start to build your ventures. The next one's more specific to the university, but we do college pitch competitions. We've partnered with 4 colleges on campus, which is the College of Business, College of Education, Engineering and Computer Science, and then Natural Science and Mathematics. CleanStart was a key partner in our Engineering and Computer Science pitch competition, and it was a great way to get students' ideas out there and help them mobilize that going forward. And so our next phase of programs are our build programs. And these are all about empowering you as an entrepreneur to gain the mindset, skills, and tools to ultimately move your idea and business concept forward. And our focus really in these programs is to support you to not just look from a solution-centric lens, but really from a problem solution lens, right? And so understanding who is your core customer and what are their problems, and how can you ultimately start to build a business model around that. And so the first program that we have in this space, we launched the Virtual Entrepreneurship Toolkit series in response to the COVID pandemic. And we've now ran 5 of these series. It's a 5-part series where we do a deep dive into the Lean Canvas, which is a business modeling tool And so over that 5 weeks, we cover each of those components. We also bring in guest speakers to talk everything about building company culture to financial projections. And then we do an investor panel on the 5th and final session where you can discuss funding needs and how to address and connect with funders. And it's a great way to just hone your tools, even if you've been in business for a while. Maybe you're trying to launch a new product offering and going about that same process of how are you going to do your customer development and understand the problem that you're actually helping them solve. And so it's a great series. We are launching our 6th session or 6th series coming up on April 7th. And so it'll run for 5 weeks. It's Wednesdays from 6 to 8 p.m. And it's a completely free program. And then we also have our Spark Venture competition, which I mentioned. It's a 2-track venture competition that takes place during Global Entrepreneurship Week. We give out $20,000 worth of awards. And we have the 2 main tracks are for-profit and then a social venture track. And so you can see the actual 2 social venture tracks are clean technology companies. And I think you've heard Repurpose Energy come for one of these CleanStart Perspectives. But it's a great way to, move your idea forward and find some ways to compete for cash awards and hopefully continue to push your business along. And then we run a student-specific program called the Virtual Mastermind Cohort. If you are a student here, it is run in the spring. We are currently closed for this cohort, but it's a 12-week-long program. And we pair you with one-on-one mentors and help you kind of navigate the business modeling and launching process. And so it's a great way to connect with the community and really help you solve any core issues that you're facing as a student entrepreneur. And then we adapted our virtual entrepreneurship toolkit series from the Lean Startup Bootcamp. So we were running these in person. They're a 2-day boot camp. Similar to the toolkit series, we use a Lean Canvas as our main tool, and we do a deep dive in some hands-on exercises so you get familiar with the tools and connect with a cohort or a community as well. And then our last set of programs are our launch programs, and these are all about helping you really get to launch, and that might be through bringing on additional customers. It might be preparing to go for funding. So that's what our kind of core focus of the launch programs. And we have 3 main programs in this phase or buckets of programs. The first is our Lean Innovator series. So we've partnered with the Capital Region SBDC for a 10-week-long program. And the core focus is really to identify your traction channels. So how you're ultimately getting your offering to your customer and then what that value proposition is with them. And so we have open content sessions, which were typically on Tuesdays. And then we had a cohort session on Thursday where we did a deeper dive into the questions and then brought in additional speakers to tackle that content area. And we worked with you to navigate ultimately building that value proposition and getting that out into the market through those traction channels. And we're excited to hopefully partner with them again on a couple of those series here in 2021. We launched a partnership with Fourth Wave, which is a female-led accelerator. It's a 16-week-long program where we had 13 female founders in this virtual program. The first phase is all about leadership. So we talk a lot about conscious leadership and Enneagram and really building a holistic leader. And then in our phase 2 is all about identifying business gaps. So each female founder is paired with a mentor that helps them navigate their business gaps. And then the last phase is all about preparing for funding, which they then present to an investor salon that takes place during Global Entrepreneurship Week. Again, we had 13 female founders go through this last cohort, and we've seen over $2 million raised by the cohort thus far. So we're really excited about their progress, and we're looking forward to launching another one coming end of, I guess, we'll probably open up applications end of spring and then get ready for summertime. And then our last program in the launch phase is our social innovation series. So we just launched that 2 weeks ago. It's a 4-part series where we go through kind of the social innovation process, start with understanding and defining the problem space and really doing a deep dive into understanding the core components of that issue, and then going through the idea generation, and then ultimately how do you bring that idea through a theory of change to a community and start to have an impact. And so we're looking forward to expanding that going forward in the coming years. And then the last kind of components is we do have foundational resources which thread through all of these programs. The first is our mentor network powered by the California Bank of Commerce. One of the tools we're using is Mentor Sacramento, which the city of Sacramento has invested in. It's a great place to set up a profile, whether you're a mentor or mentee. You can connect with people in our community and really get the advice you need in moving your innovation forward, and help you kind of understand the business model. And so you can pair yourself based on your needs and what you need to ultimately move your business forward. And then lastly is we host virtual office hours. So myself and our 2 entrepreneurs in residence, we open up our calendars to plug in and ultimately get support in moving your business forward and connecting to the right resources. And so you can access our Calendly links on our websites under the virtual office hours, and we can find time to connect. And Thomas hit on a couple of these, so I wanted to add these resources. He mentioned the College of Engineering and Computer Science. It's a great way to plug into senior projects if you're looking for testing those technologies. There's also a resource within the College of Business called the Center for Small Business, and it's a great way to get free technical assistance. It typically is over a semester long time, but you can get support in the area of marketing, data analytics, and a variety of other resources, but they can support you in a project as you launch. And then lastly, just wanted to share our team. We have Arlene, who's here today. She's our administrative and operations analyst. We have, as I shared, Jesse and Brian, who are our 2 entrepreneurs in residence, myself, and then we have our faculty in residence, Boniface. And that's all I have. This is my contact information. I told Thomas I would share my information and these slides after. So I will follow up with him on that. But I will stop sharing, and if there's any question, would be happy to take any.